So let's talk about something that's been buzzing behind the scenes. The New Orleans Pelicans, man. They're about to shake up the entire roster. When I say everybody's on the table, I'm not kidding. Almost every name you can think of could be moved. And look, when you're the Lakers sitting there trying to piece together a roster that can actually contend, there's one guy you absolutely have to target if he becomes available. Trey Murphy III. Now, I'm going to be straight up with you. I don't think he's the most likely name to be dealt, especially when you compare him to someone like Herb Jones. Herb might be a little more expendable because of age, contract, maybe even fit. But with Trey, we're talking about a 24-year-old kid, soon to be 25, with all the tools you want in a modern NBA wing. Size, shooting, defense, athleticism. He checks all those boxes. So if you're the Pelicans, you're asking yourself, do we try to retool with veterans like CJ McCollum and DeJounte Murray? Or do we hit the reset button, go young, build around Zion, Trey, Hawkins, and the future picks, and just start stacking assets? Now here's where it gets spicy. Trey Murphy is about to start a new contract extension. Man, it ain't cheap. We're talking $25 million next season, then 27, then 29, and finally $31 million in the last year. That's a hefty commitment. But it's also not outrageous when you consider where the salary cap is heading on what type of player Trey is. Still, for a team like New Orleans that's already carrying a lot of salary and hasn't exactly had the smoothest ride health-wise, there might be motivation to offload some long-term deals and get flexible again. And that's where a team like the Lakers should be all over it. This is the type of opportunity you wait for. A guy like Trey doesn't hit the market often, especially not at this stage in his career. And yes, I know he's coming off that rotator cuff injury in his shooting shoulder. That's not nothing. You're talking about the kind of injury that can affect confidence, mechanics, rhythm. But if that gives you a discount in the trade market, man, you take that chance all day. Because when this guy's healthy, he's the real deal. Legit. 6'8", 6'9", depending on who you ask. Long wingspan, can guard multiple positions. And he's not just a shooter. He can put the ball on the floor, create his own look, and give you buckets in a variety of ways. Look, the Pelicans were a hospital last season. You couldn't find 5 guys healthy at once. That gave Trey a bigger role, more touches, and we got a good look at what he can do. He played in 53 games, started 51 of them, and logged over 35 minutes a night. That's big-time workload. He averaged nearly 16 points a game on just under 16 field goal attempts, shot about 45% from the field overall. From beyond the arc, he dropped 36% on over 8 attempts per game. And here's the thing, Rick. That 36%, that was his worst season shooting threes. His worst. He's a career 38% shooter from deep. Had a 40% season the year before, and he's done it consistently. So what happened? Simple. With the entire team out, Trey had to take a ton of self-created threes. No Zion. Out there, no consistent playmaking, and you're forced to create off the dribble, make something out of nothing, and hoist up contested shots. But imagine slotting him next to LeBron James and Luka Doncic. We're talking elite gravity, elite passing, elite shot creation. Trey would be licking his chops out there. He'd be getting so many clean looks, it would be ridiculous. I truly believe he'd go back to being a 40% shooter from deep, no question. He wouldn't have to force anything, just play within the flow and capitalize on those wide open opportunities. And it's not just the shooting. He shot nearly 89% from the free throw line last year on over 4 attempts per game. That tells me he's a reliable scorer, confident with the ball in his hands, and not afraid to attack the rim. His 2-point percentage was over 55%. Add in 5 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, a block, and you're looking at a guy who can do a little bit of everything. He's not just a one-dimensional 3 and D wing. He's got real versatility, and in today's NBA, that's priceless. Now let's talk fit. You put Trey Murphy on this Lakers team, even without making any other moves, and you're already better. But imagine a scenario where you get both Trey Murphy and Herb Jones. I'm telling you right now, you give me those 2 guys, and I don't care what you have to trade. Austin Reeves, Dalton Knecht, all your first-round picks, pick swaps, whatever. It takes. Do it. Because if you can line up Trey, Herb, Luka, and LeBron together, all you need is a solid 5. Just go out and get a Clint Capela or a Nick Claxton type. Doesn't have to be an all-star. Just someone who can protect the rim and run the floor. At that point, you're cooking. You got two elite wings who can guard 1 through 4, maybe even some 5s in small ball, knock down open shots, and fit perfectly around your two superstars. That's a championship formula. The league is starving for guys like Trey Murphy. Teams spend years trying to draft or develop that prototype, and he's sitting there possibly available. If there's even a 1% chance to get him, you go all in. And yeah, I get it. He's not a perfect player. The injuries are a concern. He's only played around 55 games per season over the last 2 years. But you can't teach what he brings to the table. You can't teach that length, that fluid athleticism, that shooting touch. And he's still just getting started. You're buying into the next 8 to 10 years of high-level wing play. You're locking in a guy who's already a borderline starter on a playoff team and could blossom into a legit star in the right system. If the Lakers are serious about making a real push, not just squeaking into the playoffs, but actually contending, they have to start making moves like this. Forget chasing washed-up vets or overpaying for names. Go get young, versatile two-way wings who can grow with your core and hold their own in the playoffs. Trey Murphy is that guy. He doesn't need the ball in his hands to be effective. He can cut his space the floor, crash the boards, and guard the opposing team's best wing. He fits the mold of exactly what this team needs. And with LeBron not getting any younger, the time to act is now. Every move you make should be about maximizing what you've got left in LeBron's tank while also building something sustainable for the future. Trey gives you that. He bridges the gap between short-term success and long-term value. He's young, he's under contract, and his skill set is tailor-made for the modern NBA. Plus, with the cap going up every year, that $31 million in the final year of his deal won't even look that bad. It might even be a bargain. You're seeing role players get north of $20 million nowadays, so locking in a legit 3-and-D threat who can also create, rebound, and defend multiple positions, that's a win in today's market. So yeah, I'd move Reeves for Trey Murphy. I know people love Austin Reeves, and he's been a fan favorite, but if that's what it takes, you do it, because Trey gives you size, shooting, defense, and youth. He's 3 inches taller, more athletic, and gives you similar, if not better production. This isn't about emotion. It's about fit, value, and winning. And again, if there's a package deal on the table that gets you both Trey and Herb, don't think twice. Hand over whatever assets you've got. Picks, players, pick swaps. The whole bag. Because now you're talking about building a legit contender. A team that can compete with Denver, Boston, whoever. You'd have wings to throw at Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Jamal Murray, Kawhi Leonard. All those playoff killers that you've struggled to contain in the past. And offensively, you become a nightmare matchup for anyone. Floor spacing, ball, movement, switchability. You'd be firing on all cylinders. Look, I'm not saying this is a done deal. Far from it. But this is the kind of opportunity that doesn't come around often. And if Rob Pelinka and the Lakers front office are paying attention, they need to be on the phone yesterday. You find out what the price is. You line up your assets. And you do whatever it takes. Because Trey Murphy isn't just a luxury. He might be the missing piece. Now, for those still on the fence about Trey Murphy, let's dig a little deeper into what kind of production this guy brings to the table. We're not talking about some random role player with one hot streak. We're talking about a young, ascending wing who's already shown he can carry a load when asked. Last season, with the Pelicans basically limping through injury after injury, Trey was one of the few bright spots. In the 53 games he played, he started 51 of them and averaged 35 minutes per game. That's a heavy workload for a guy who was still technically developing. Despite the pressure, he put up over 21 points per game. That's not nothing. On a team where the offensive options were dropping like flies, Trey stepped up. He had to take more shots, create more on his own, and play out of position at times. And even in that scenario, he shot over 45% from the field. He took over 8 threes a game and still managed to hit them at a 36% clip. Again, his worst season from 3, but still respectable. His 2-point percentage was over 55, which shows he wasn't just camping out. Beyond the arc, he was attacking the rim, moving without the ball, finding gaps in the defense, and the shooting. Look, people underestimate the value of having a true knockdown shooter who also defends. His free throw percentage was nearly 89% last season. He's a career 87% shooter from the line. That's elite. That's a guy you trust with the ball in crunch time. Someone who won't fold under pressure when the game's on the line. That level of efficiency, especially for a wing who plays on the perimeter, is gold. He also gives you a little bit of everything else. 5 rebounds per game. Not elite, but solid for his position. 4 assists a night, which shows he's not just a scorer. He can move the ball, make reads, keep the offense flowing. Add in a steal and a block per game, and now you're talking about a guy who contributes on both ends. He's not a liability. He's not one of those shooters who you have to hide on defense. In fact, his length and quickness allow him to guard 2, sometimes 3 positions effectively. Now the real kicker is this. Trey Murphy isn't just effective, he's efficient. He posted an effective field goal percentage of 55% last season. That's excellent considering the volume and difficulty of his looks, especially without a real playmaker feeding him the ball consistently. You plug him into a team where Luka is dropping dimes and LeBron is drawing doubles, and suddenly Trey becomes deadly. He goes from creating tough shots to knocking down wide open ones. The percentages go up, the pressure goes down, and the offense becomes that much more dynamic. And let's not ignore the defensive end. This is where Trey's value skyrockets. 6'8" with a 7'1" wingspan. That's length, that's disruption. That's exactly what the Lakers need on the perimeter. Someone who can contest shots, switch across positions, and chase shooters around screens without getting lost. Add him to a lineup with other high IQ defenders, and now you've got the makings of an elite two-way team. People forget how important those wings are in today's NBA. You look at the best teams in the league. Boston, Denver, Miami, even OKC now. They're stacked with wings who can shoot, switch, defend, and keep the offense flowing without needing to dominate the ball. Trey fits that mold perfectly. He doesn't need 20 shots to make an impact. He doesn't need to dominate the ball to be effective. He can fit in seamlessly with stars, do his job, and still go off when the opportunity comes. And again, we're not talking about a rental. This isn't a half-season gamble on a guy looking for a payday. Trey Murphy is already locked in long-term. You know what he's going to cost you. You can plan around that. And as the cap keeps going up, that contract will look more and more team-friendly. He could easily be a foundational piece for the next decade. So if the Lakers want to be serious about building a roster that can win now and later, Trey Murphy has to be one of the top targets. He gives you youth, athleticism, size, shooting, and defense all in one package. That's rare. That's valuable. And that's exactly the type of player you go get before someone else does. Because if he lands on a contending team with structure and spacing, don't be surprised if he becomes a breakout star. And if the Lakers can be the ones to unlock that next level, man, the sky's the limit. Before we continue, we ask that you leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Lakers updates. Moving on. A major buzz has been stirring in the NBA world as rumors swirl around the possibility of Kevin Durant joining the Los Angeles Lakers. Although nothing has been officially confirmed, whispers from inside sources suggest that the Lakers are seriously considering making a blockbuster move to bring the superstar forward to the City of Angels. Durant, known for his incredible scoring ability and versatility, has long been one of the most coveted players in the league. His name frequently pops up in trade talks and off-season speculations. But the idea of him landing with the Lakers, a franchise hungry for championship glory, has particularly caught the imagination of fans and analysts alike. The Lakers, boasting a star-studded roster and a championship pedigree, could offer Durant a prime opportunity to chase another title ring alongside established stars. The rumor mill has been fueled by various hints, including the Lakers' aggressive moves in the trade market and their clear desire to bolster their front line. Sources close to the team claim there have been preliminary discussions and that the Lakers management sees Durant as a perfect fit for their style and ambitions. While there are no guarantees that these talks will result in a deal, the mere possibility has sent shockwaves through the NBA community. From Durant's perspective, joining the Lakers could represent a fresh start and a chance to solidify his legacy in one of the league's most iconic franchises. Despite his success with previous teams, Durant has often been on the lookout for a situation where he can maximize his championship chances and team dynamics. The Lakers' combination of veteran leadership, young talent, and a passionate fan base certainly ticks many of those boxes. On the flip side, the financial and logistical hurdles for such a trade are significant. The Lakers would need to maneuver around salary cap constraints and potential player departures to create room for Durant's contract. Meanwhile, the team currently holding Durant's rights would demand a hefty return, making this a complex chess game behind closed doors. The Lakers fan base is already buzzing with excitement and speculation, imagining what it would mean to see Durant donning the purple and gold. Social media is flooded with reactions ranging from disbelief to outright enthusiasm. The prospect of pairing Durant with existing stars could redefine the Lakers' strategy and shift the balance of power in the Western Conference. While nothing is set in stone, the rumors surrounding Kevin Durant's possible move to the Lakers have injected a new wave of anticipation into the NBA offseason. Whether or not the deal materializes remains to be seen, but for now, the Lakers and their supporters can dream of one of basketball's greatest talents taking the court in Los Angeles, potentially setting the stage for an electrifying new chapter in the franchise's storied history. Stay informed exclusively about Los Angeles Lakers news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep receiving daily updates. Also, share your opinion on the news in the comments, as your contribution is crucial for the Lakers. Stay tuned for the next video.